Hey guys, Ryan Smith with the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team, here to discuss today why are so many houses being pulled off the market. One of the trends we've really seen in the real estate market lately, and I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, there's a lot of houses that have been coming off the market. And I think there's a few different reasons for that. In addition, there's been a lot of new houses also coming on the market. So we're going to talk about both scenarios right now. So first, with houses that are actually coming on the market, what we're seeing there is the lock-in effect is really slowly fading. So you might say, well, what is the lock-in effect? Well, you know, for a number of years, over the last 7 or 8 years, we've seen people that have had 2 or 3% mortgage rates. And a lot of those people who had very low rates are going, hey, I'm not moving again. Like, I've got such a good interest rate. I'm not putting my house up for sale. Like, I'm never going to get this low rate again. So I am never going to sell this house. They dug their heels in and said, I'm not selling. And so because of that, for a long time, you really didn't see a lot of these houses going onto the market. Well, what you're seeing though right now is a lot of that's beginning to change. So in fact, Zillow did a study over the last year, and 78% of sellers that were recently surveyed said that it was life events that are really changing, that are forcing them to go ahead and list their houses for sale. So slowly, little bit by little bit, we're seeing more and more houses begin to come on the market because people are getting over having their heels dug in and saying, I'm never going to do this again because I have a 2% interest rate. Now, one of the interesting things that's playing into both houses coming on and houses coming off is that there's more inventory that's beginning to hit the market, and there's fewer buyers to grab that inventory. So for houses coming off, it may be that these people have had their houses for sale for a long time, and for one reason or another, that house hasn't sold. They're feeling discouraged. They're pulling it off the market, especially as they see more and more competition. And then for people, the increase in inventory, you know, there's a lot of other people who've been holding back from that lock-in effect that said, you know, I'm not going to put my house on the market. I want to keep my low interest rate, that are finally going, I can't wait anymore. I have to do this. In fact, we've seen in the first quarter that the number of houses for sale inventory, you know, has jumped 16% from last year, which is really a huge sign, right? Number 3, we've got a hidden wave of shadow inventory, right? So what you're seeing, and there's a lot of people who have pulled their house off the market because of the fact that they've been out there for a while, or they were struggling to sell, and then they've only done that temporarily because they have a game plan to go back on the market after they either let their days in the market reset on the MLS, or when they think that there's a little bit of better time in the year to help them get what they're after. They're just kind of temporarily pulling off with the intention of going back on. So if you're a buyer and you're patient, more listings coming on the market means that you're going to have more choices and you may get better deals. So just something to consider. So once again, we've talked about that lock-in effect is slowly going away. So if you're a buyer that's looking to buy, or if you're needing to sell, right, we're seeing more and more, less people digging in on those interest rates. They're willing to put their houses on the market because they just can't wait anymore. It is leading to more inventory. So we're having more houses go on the market, but there's been fewer buyers to catch up with it. And I didn't mention why before. The big reason why there's been fewer buyers is there's been a lot of fear of interest rates being at 6 and 7%. We do think that those are eventually going to begin to come down. I don't think you're going to see them dramatically drop, but I do think you're going to see those interest rates coming down. And then keep in mind, there's a hidden wave of inventories. There's people that maybe had their house on the market in the wintertime, did not strike gold, but they still want to sell. So as we hit the spring and summer, they're going to be going back on the market again to try to capitalize on a hotter market where there's more buyers actively engaged and looking for a sale. So can be a great time if you're a buyer, and if you time it right and price your house well, because it's extremely important with these trends as a seller. You've got to price your house right. If you do that, you could capitalize on this time as well and reach success. So hope this has been helpful for you. Once again, this is Ryan with the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team. If you have any questions in real estate, look us up on the web. That's ryansmithhomes.com. Once again, www.ryansmithhomes.com. Or give us a call at 254-213-5335. Once again, 254-213-5335. This is Ryan. Enjoyed talking with you today. We'll catch you on the next video.